This is Dream Power Radio, the place where your dreams turn into reality. Here is your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Hello, and welcome to Dream Power Radio. I'm your host, certified Dream Life coach, Debbie Spector-Weissman. This is the place where we talk about dreams, both daytime and nighttime dreams, and how you can use them to make the internal shift to a life you love and rediscover the truth of who you really are. Today, we're going to turn our attention to love, one of the most important components, if not the most important needed to truly live your dream life. We're going to look at it from a unique perspective, that of a psychic medium. When I think about mediums, my thoughts focus things like their ability to contact spirits from beyond and transmit the messages they receive to their loved ones. When I think about psychics, I think about people who use their extrasensory perceptions like telepathy to get in touch with people, events, and ideas from the past, present, and future, and divine information that can't be received from any other source. Well, psychic medium June Edward is all that. When I was approached to talk to her about her book, All's Fair in Love and Karma, 5 Steps to Relationship Mastery, I was a bit surprised. I mean, as a well-known expert in her field, I could see her being able to predict love coming into a person's life. But could she also use her skills to help people actually truly understand all aspects of their love life so they could be with the souls they were meant to be with? Well, as it turns out, the answer is yes. June uses her knowledge to help answer questions such as why people keep attracting the same types of people, why they stay with them even though they make them miserable, and how to change that paradigm to attract the love they deserve to have. For years, her relationship mastery program has repaired hundreds of relationships by teaching the lessons that all of us need to learn to bring and keep love into our lives. And with that, welcome to Dream Power Radio, June.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Well, June, you do believe that we're all born with psychic abilities, but that we lose them over time as we grow up. If we had these abilities all along, would we have any problems finding love and creating the relationships of our dreams?
So we all come here for basically the same types of reasons. And one of those reasons is to learn our soul lessons. We learn our lessons faster here than we do on the other side. And we learn them faster still within relationships. So you're going to have challenges, but the challenge is really based on your perspective. Everything in life is based on perspective. You know, some people will walk into a store and, I can't find a thing to buy in here. And other people walk in and they're totally overwhelmed because there's so many things that they want to buy. So it's all perspective in life. It really is. But love is the highest vibration there is. And we all want and need that in our life. It's extremely important. So why do we attract the people that we do in our life? Well, we kind of plan this life before we come here. And we really plan the things that are going to happen in our life and the people that are going to come into our life. There are no accidents. And we're always right where we're supposed to be, just so everyone knows, don't have regret.
Yeah, so when you explain this to the people you're working with, is it a hard concept for them to understand that I've actually been here before and that we need to learn these lessons in our present life?
Yes and no. Some people, I find the more stubborn they are, the more difficult it is for them to open their mind to a higher concept. So the reality of it is we are not the suit that sits here. We are the energetic being that's inside. And energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be changed or created. So when you lose this body, when you lose this suit, where do you go? Your energy has to go somewhere, right? And if you go into the light, if you go, speed of light, quantum physics is 300 million miles a second. And I died when I was 27 and went to the other side at that speed. That's a very high vibration. And came back here by choice into my body at 300 million miles a second. That's a really high vibration. So there is life after life once you lose this body, that's for sure. And the 2 things that you take with you is your knowledge and your feelings. And it's all your feelings. I used to say it was love because that's what I was overwhelmed with on the other side. But I've since brought through many, many people who are still absorbed in guilt and fear and anger and those types of feelings. So you take all of your feelings with you. But the highest vibration is love. That's what you really want to obtain.
Oh, tell me, what is your definition of love?
So one of the lessons that we have to learn is unconditional love. So unconditional love first starts with you. You need to learn how self-worth is the first lesson you have to learn. But unconditional love is literally loving without condition. It's, not staying in a very bad relationship because he only beats me on Sundays. It's okay. I'm supposed to be practicing unconditional love. No, that's not what it is. It's saying to the other person, listen, I love you. I care about you. We had a good run. It's not bringing us joy any longer. We need to go separate ways. And wanting the best for that person as well as yourself. It's not waiting till the weekend comes and you badmouth them again. That's not love. Suppose you had a child that you love unconditionally and they do something horrific like murdering a neighbor in a fit of rage and they go to prison for the rest of their life. You don't like what your child did, but hopefully you still love your child. These are examples of unconditional love. It's really wanting the best. It's that. It's not in love. In love is great. In love is euphoric, right? But it's much, much deeper than that.
Right. So unconditional love, as you say, is one of the 5 love lessons that you say we have to learn. But you also say that it's the hardest one to learn. So why is that?
So I've had people argue with me with, there's conditions there then. The condition was you had a relationship with that person, or the condition was it was your child. Well, let's turn it around. Let's say, because the more stubborn you are and the harder it is for you to learn a lesson, the more difficult the universe is going to make it on you so you learn the lesson. Let's say your child was killed by a drunk driver. No fault of your child's, right? Are you going to spend the rest of your life spewing hate towards the person that caused that to happen? Or are you going to understand that your child planned this to have a shorter life before they came here? They're in a wonderful place on the other side, I can promise you that. And the person that caused it to happen, that was part of his soul journey as well. There's things that he has to learn. So you're only going to destroy your own self by spewing hate instead of trying to understand and put love out to people.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. But I just want to get back to something that you just mentioned, which is like if your child, dies as a child, would we say before his or her time, you say the child planned that. And that does seem like a hard concept for a parent to really
So we've heard, everyone here is a gift from God, right? Everyone here. We're all miracles. And we're only here for as long as we planned to be here. And even a child that's born and dies within moments knew that they were only coming here for a short period of time. Maybe the lesson was for the parents. Maybe the lesson was for the doctor. But there's a lesson to be learned there for everyone, because basically that's the whole reason we come here, is for our soul to continue to advance. That's what it's really about.
So you do say then that the love lessons that are here for us to learn, it's not just for us as the individual, it could be for people around us as well then.
Well, this is where karma comes in. You create karma in this lifetime if you do something to someone else that you do not make amends for and you do not have remorse for. Now, in another lifetime, you're going to owe them a debt. So it's really not negative. We're here to help each other and teach each other. Suppose you stole money from someone in a past lifetime. Then they're going to come back in this lifetime to collect that debt. They're not going to necessarily steal money from you. They may end up becoming your boss and teach you how money actually works and that you have to work hard for it and the value of it, right? This is how karma really works. So a lot of the relationships we get into are karmic. They're here to teach you one of the 5 soul lessons. And it's a karmic relationship because it never really feels right. You're looking for the red flags. You're waiting for that other shoe to drop. And as soon as one or the other of you learn your soul lesson, it ends immediately. So you wake up in the morning, you're like, why do I have this person in my life anymore? It's done. If you both learned your lesson, it will end amicably. If only one or the other has learned the lesson, it will end, but it won't be amicably.
So it is possible for you to learn the lesson, but not have the other person involved.
Correct. And maybe they weren't. Maybe the lesson was for you, not them. It depends. It really depends. And then you have soulmate relationships. A soulmate relationship, it's a soulmate. You feel really good. feel like you've known each other forever. Could be anybody. Could be your dog, could be your soulmate, your child. They just don't have to be romantic relationships. And it's still there to help you learn something or teach something, but it's also there to afford you some love and comfort along the way. And soulmate relationships don't have to end as soon as you've learned the lesson. It really depends on what you wrote into your plan.
Okay. So I want to get back to the 5 love lessons that you do say we need to learn. And we did talk about one, unconditional love. Another one is self-worth. What do you mean by that?
Really the most important one. Yeah, I think it really starts with the self-worth. And self-worth isn't value because that's what other people place upon you. Self-worth is the understanding that you are so important, that you are the only one of you in this entire universe. Imagine that. Even if you're a twin, you have different wants, different desires, and different fingerprints. So you're still different. And it's not selfish and it's not narcissistic, as society would like you to believe, to put yourself first. It's where everything else comes from. If you can't put yourself first, you're not going to be here to take care of anybody else, are you? It's that simple. And no one else has power over you to make you do anything. I can't make you hate me. I can't make you love me. That's all on you. And no one else can make you happy but you either. And when you are happy, you will attract other people that are also happy, and your happiness will just ping pong back and forth.
And is self-worth necessarily self-love?
They're tied one and the same. You have to love yourself and you have to understand that self-worth in order to unconditionally love yourself, right? So each of the lessons keeps on reinforcing the other lesson because that's the unconditional love as well, right? You have to have it for yourself too, as well as others.
Absolutely. So let's say, as an example, we grow up feeling that we have very low self-worth as a child. Is this because that we were put into a family that made us feel that way so that we could learn this lesson about self-worth?
Well, it is because everybody doesn't have that low self-esteem, do they? There's lots of people that have good self-esteem that don't need to learn that lesson, and they were born into families that reinforced that for them as they grew up. So you chose everything in your life. You chose your parents, you chose your children, you chose your friends, your family, and maybe that wasn't one of the lessons you needed to learn because you already knew that lesson.
Okay, well, with that, we are going to take a short break. And then when we come back, we're going to continue talking about the 5 love lessons with June Edward. And we'll be right back. Hi, it's Debbie. If you like what you're hearing on Dream Power Radio, I've got good news for you. There's more information, more insights, more ways for you to live your dream life on my YouTube channel, The Dream Power Experience. Check out insightful video interviews with some of the leading experts in self-growth and empowerment. Plus a few videos where I share my own advice on how to break free from whatever's holding you back. So take a look at the Dream Power Experience on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@thedreampowerexperience.
Welcome back to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Yes, welcome back to Dream Power Radio. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, and we're talking about the 5 love lessons with psychic medium June Edward. Well, June, the next love lesson that you say we learn, that we need to learn, is about how money works, because money is energy. Do I get that right?
So it's money in balance. Money is energy. That's why it's called currency. But it's what we use in this 3D world to show whether or not your life is in balance. And everything in the universe has to stay in balance. You have good and evil. You have night and day. You have up and down. And everything in the universe has to be an even exchange of energy as well. So you don't walk into a grocery store and plop down $1 million to buy a gallon of milk, right? That's not an even exchange of energy. And then suppose you're working 80 hours a week because you want to save your money. Well, you're working 80 hours a week, you're totally out of balance. You have no time for your own hobbies. You have no time for your friends, for your family. And then if you're just saving all your money, you don't have enough self-worth to spend the fruits of your labor on yourself either, do you? Because money is energy, people have to understand it has to flow. You can't hoard it. The more you put out, the more comes back. It's energy. It's a flow. It just has to get into that flow. And you also have to, one of the other lessons is trust and communication. You've got to trust that The universe does not want you to live in lack ever. If there's something that you want and you need and you're requesting it from the universe and from your angels, you'll get it. I promise.
Yeah, it's interesting that you go, so the trust and
Trust and communicate.
pretty
Yeah.
much go hand in hand then.
So everything keeps reinforcing each other. So you have to trust, first of all, that there is a higher power. And there is. There's only one. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. There is only one. And you have to trust that there's also a plan and that you made the plan. And anything that's happening in your life, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you, for your highest and best. And it's easy to look back at the breadcrumbs and see how everything in your life has brought you to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and brought you to where you are right now. And many times we look back and we've been in a situation that at the time we thought was horrendous and we didn't want it to happen. But when we look back, we're grateful that it did happen because something better came out of it. And that's how it always works. So you have to trust that going forward as well. However, if we're stubborn and we're not on our path, then the universe is going to step in and make something happen to put you back on your path. And you have to be able to communicate your wants and your needs to the people in your life. Otherwise, they have no idea what your wants and your needs are. We don't just know by osmosis. And sex, that's just another form of communication. If you can't trust and communicate with that person outside the bedroom, you're not going to be able to do it inside the bedroom either.
Yeah, I tell you, most people, I think, don't quite understand that role of communication. I think when people get into relationships, especially when they're in a relationship for a while, I think they get into this assumption that the partner knows what they want because maybe 2-3 years ago, you communicated it and you think, well, you said it once, you don't need to say it again, but that's not true, is it?
No. And things are always changing. Think about it. Our reaction doesn't equal our greater reaction. So we're always evolving. We're always changing. And sometimes our needs are changing as well. It's that simple. But if you don't communicate that to the people in your life, they don't know.
So, yeah, and it's an ongoing thing, like you say.
It is. Yeah. You're always evolving, always evolving.
Okay, so we've got through 4 of the love lessons, and the final one is kind of one that I found a little surprising when I saw it, patience. So tell me how that fits in.
So patience is very difficult for a lot of people, and even more so now because we live in a world of instant gratification. Everybody wants everything now. No one wants to wait for anything. And it doesn't really work that way. You get the things in your life at the time that you're supposed to receive them. So wouldn't it be ridiculous if every little 5-year-old girl that wants to play dress up, get married and have baby dolls, right? The stork starts delivering the real babies to her? How stupid is that, right? It happens when it's supposed to, the way you planned it. And maybe you planned, maybe you're in your 30s and clicking close to 40 and you're like, oh, my biological clock is ticking and I haven't gotten married and I don't have kids yet. Well, if you don't, it's because you didn't plan it that way this time. And it doesn't mean it's still not going to happen. Maybe when you hit 50 or 60, you're going to marry a widow or a widower and you're going to raise their children for them. You really don't know. And this is where you go back to the trust again. You got to trust that you made this plan for your highest and best for the things that you wanted to experience and you wanted to do in this lifetime.
You talk about patience being very difficult, especially like you say, we're in this instant gratification world right now. So we're getting that message from society. No, I need everything right now. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. So how does somebody learn patience?
It has to do with trust again. I have a friend who his entire life has been working on this piece of equipment to help people golf better. And it's an amazing piece of equipment. I'm talking over 30 years. And most of it's been his own fear that he hadn't put it to market, but it just never really felt right for him, right? But he still always had the patience and the knowing that at some point. And then right before COVID hit, it looked like, this was going to be it, right? And the rug got pulled out from under. So again, he has trust and he's like, well, it happened for a reason. There must be something better coming. And sure enough, 35 years he's been waiting. This was the big year. This was the big PGA reveal. This was the big, and now he's like, everything comes when it's supposed to. You have to have the patience and believe it. And know that as soon as you've asked the universe, everybody prays, right? Or asks the universe in some way or form. When you meditate, you get your answers. But as soon as you ask, they're working on it for you. And it's coming. And you can guarantee that. but it's going to come at the right time. Suppose you're asking for, I want to meet this guy that's 6'2" and he's a lawyer and he wants to get married and have kids and we're going to live in Bora Bora, right? Okay, they've heard you. You got to do your part. You can't sit there on the couch and hope that the UPS guy is going to deliver them. You got to get yourself out there so that they can make this happen. Maybe he's still in a relationship with someone else. Maybe he's still going through law school. You don't know the process, but you can guarantee that they're working on it for you and it will eventually arrive.
And I can see how patience also ties in with self-worth, because if you have that belief in yourself, then you could say, yes, I know that I
deserve everything I ask for. We all do. We all deserve everything that we ask for in this lifetime to have our happiness, whatever that is for each person. Absolutely.
Yes, and I think that might be a difficult lesson to teach people, because so many people don't believe that they deserve.
So my program, I have a 7-week program that I created because you can make or break anything in your life in 6 weeks. If you're a heavy smoker and you wanted to quit and you found the right program and you did it every day for 6 weeks, you could quit for the rest of your life. Do you have any idea why it works?
Tell me.
Because it retrains your brain. Your brain is nothing more than a computer. You see people that get in car accidents and have a brain injury and they go into rehab and they couldn't walk or talk and they come out after a few months and they can walk and talk again because your brain computer circuits rewires itself around. And what I do is I unteach people what they think they know and I teach them how things really work. And when you see that, it's absolutely amazing once you put it into practice. Energy is just amazing. You can't see it, just like you can't see the air you breathe, but it's there. You can't see the microwaves cooking your food, but they're there. And everything is energy. And we are magnets. So we're always either attracting or repelling at any given time. And everyone that is in your circle, whether it's your close, intimate friends, your partner, whoever it is on that same energetic frequency. And it's just like a radio station. You can't get the station in unless you're on the right frequency, right? And everything in life is that way. So if you're looking to bring better into your life, you have to raise that frequency, raise that vibration. And this is where the law of attraction comes in. And you have to balance it, because if you don't balance it, everything's got to stay in balance. If you hit that high and you don't balance it, you'll crash and you'll lose it again. So I teach them how to raise that vibration and balance it so they can bring everything they want into their life. And the people that are in your life, because you're on that same energetic vibration, are either going to raise their vibration and come with you, or they're going to fall off and new people are going to be attracted in.
But then with that higher vibration, you're going to attract the people who you deserve to have in your life.
Exactly. Exactly. And everything you ask for and everything you want, because that's the energy flow of the universe.
So you say that we come into this life to learn these love lessons. Does everybody have to learn all 5 of the love lessons?
You know, the universe wants you to think you have choice, right? But the only choice you really have in this lifetime is to whether or not you're going to delay those lessons. You can delay them to the next lifetime if you want. So for instance, the universe will offer you door 1, 2, and 3. People take door 1, they go through it, they get married, they have a couple of kids, they get divorced. Where are they again? In front of door 1, 2, and 3. Well, most people are creatures of habit. They're going to take door 1 again. They're going to get married again, have a couple more kids, and get divorced again. You're going to be run front of door 1, 2, and 3. If you learned your lesson, you're not taking door 1 any longer. You're going to take door 2 and door 3. You may still get married and have more children, but it's not going to end the way the first 2 did because you learned that lesson. So that's the choices that you have in this lifetime, is whether or not to learn your lessons, see life from a higher perspective, have an amazing life and continue through it, or just keep on repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again.
Let's say that you learn 1 or 2 of the love lessons, but not all of them. Can you still have a relationship that works?
It's just that it's going to constantly be trying to teach you the lessons that you haven't learned yet, whatever those are. I mean, what works for one person is not necessarily what someone else would consider working, okay? I know people that are in relationships and all they do is fight and argue, and they think it works. Well, that's not the type of relationship that I would choose to have in my life. But they are still learning money and balance, self-worth, unconditional. They're still learning all these lessons. They'll probably stay together the rest of their life because that's the pattern and that's the choices that they're making. But Are they going to learn the lessons? I don't know.
Okay. I want to turn to the concept of soulmates. Do we all have soulmates in this life?
We all have hundreds and hundreds of soulmates and karmic relationships in this lifetime. And it all depends on who you pull in based on your vibration. So when you write this life plan, it's extremely complicated on the other side because you also have to write choices in there. Say, I keep taking door 1, right? If I keep taking door 1, well, then it's going to pull in person B or person C. If I finally learn that lesson and I take door 2, well, then it's going to pull in person A. So there's lots of dynamics to your life that you also wrote in. It's like a revolving door. It's really funny.
So, June, like you say, you died when you were 27 and came back and discovered that you had the psychic abilities that you actually were born with, but didn't really pursue when you were younger. What has made you decide to use your abilities to help people discover these love lessons?
So it's funny. It's like asking a priest, why is a priest? You know, if it's your path and it's what you're supposed to do, then the universe is eventually going to put you on it. I was born with a lot of ability. Everyone has psychic ability and mediumship ability. It really depends on how much you choose to develop it. It's like playing a piano. Some people just sit down and play chopsticks. Others want to use it a little bit so they'll teach themselves a couple of songs. Other people want to do it as a profession and they can be concert pianists. And I'm like the little prodigy that sits down at 6 years old and plays Mozart. I was very afraid of my abilities as a child. My first experience was probably about 3 years old, and I heard someone calling my name, got up, went to my parents' room, and they were fast asleep. Came back to bed, and then started noticing there were faces all around my room. It was very, very frightening as a child. And then as I got older and I knew everything that was going to happen before it happened, and I would start telling the kids in school, I got labeled the freak. So you block it as much as you can. And when I was 10 years old, there was a woman that used to come and stand next to me and talk to me when I would do the dishes at night. I assumed everybody saw her, but apparently they didn't. And I asked my older brother who she was, and he started laughing and told me it was the woman that got killed in the house because her husband threw her down the basement stairs, which explains why I didn't want to go in the basement. And it scared me so much she didn't come back. I'm sure she felt it. And from that point forward, I really tried to block it. So the only time that they would come to me is if someone passed away. I would know immediately. They would come to me. And I would tell whoever in the family, listen, John Smith died last night. And they're like, no way, I saw him 2 days ago. And they'd find out, sure enough, he did. And then after I died, I just got really curious. And I started going on haunted vacations. So I would go to the Wally House. I went to the Queen Mary and stayed on that and did a couple of tours there. I went to Alcatraz prison. I was really interested. And I was starting to see energy again at that point. I could see the orbs and I started to hear a little bit, but I was still very afraid of it. I wasn't ready for it yet. And it was only about 10 years ago that I went to have some Reiki work done. And she recommended that I meditate. And I'm like, I can't meditate. I have way too much going on. And the first time I did, it was like I kicked the door into the other side again. They're like, she's ready. And I couldn't shut it off. Again, I'm waking up in the morning with 30 of them around my bed. And, you know, I'm a medical esthetician. And the woman that comes in the room, I know everything there is to know. So I had to seek out people to help me learn how to turn it on and turn it off because I couldn't turn it off. And you can't be like that all the time or you'll just go crazy. And that's what happens to a lot of people. They self-medicate with alcohol and drugs. They think they're crazy because they can't turn it off.
Well, it's a good thing that you did learn how to use it wisely and provide this service for everybody. So, June, how can people find out more about you, your books, and your work?
I am on all social media, but they can go to my website, juneedward.com. Real easy. There are links to all of my books there. There is a free webinar you can sign up for to teach you a little bit about energy. And if you're interested in the Relationship Mastery Program, you can sign up for a free call with me for that. I also do readings, Akashic Records, Destiny card readings, all kinds of astrology and numerology. So you're welcome to schedule an appointment with me online as well.
Hey, well, June, thank you so much for being on Dream Power Radio today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. We've been speaking about mastering our love relationships with June Edward. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. If so, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Until next time, this is Debbie Spector Weissman saying, sweet dreams, everybody.
You've been listening to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman. For more information on Debbie or to sign up for her newsletter, go to dreampowerradio.com. This has been Dream Power Radio.